Hello, dear people, big and small. Here's your crazy Auntie Frida. Today with a slightly different head decoration because I'm inside and the sun is not that extreme, but it's nice. And I wanted to try something new, like an old hippie. And yeah, I wanted to tell you recently I've moved relatively poorly, and that's why I watched a lot of videos on YouTube, often about people with a variety of chronic illnesses, because I wanted to know how other people solve this and that with pain, with special types of eating or special types of administering the food, of administering medication. And there I've run across the statement that some other person was a fraud on YouTube. Um, and that made me think because I have to be seen to believed, and a lot of people don't believe my crazy life actually functions like that, but it does. So I thought I'd make a small video about what awareness raising means to me. Like, to the people who don't know, I have autism and cerebral palsy, anxiety and depression, but I'm actually living a very happy life with it. I have to talk very slowly so my thoughts don't get jumbled and my thoughts don't run away. If you meet me in person, I often talk too fast and too much, and in the end, you don't know what I'm talking about. So I actually made myself a small sketch here about things that awareness raising does and does not mean to me. First of all, of course, here my awareness is in a cloud, but sometimes awareness raising can be much more hard and solid than a cloud is. And it's not just passing by, but it gives the whole thing a lighter feeling. So, point one. If I tell someone I have autism and cerebral palsy, it means that I'm trying to communicate to the person that I need a different structure of the surroundings. Maybe I'll make a separate video about which structures I need, but the thing that my friends know the most is short walking distances and very strict time limits and very clear instructions on what I have to do. And I'm seeing this more and more, that what works for me with the autism doesn't necessarily work for other autistic people, and what works for them doesn't necessarily work for me. So life is a process of learning, and I listed learning here in the awareness raising, and it's a process for both parties. Uh, it's often very sad to me if people say, well, you only expect us to learn about you. I'm actually learning as much about the people as well. To me, it also means like giving constructive feedback. Talk about to each other what has to change, mutual respect, exchanging ideas. What I like particularly much is the exchange of experience stories, like how do people structure their environments, what do they eat in a day, what is beneficial to them to eat, or like sometimes even how do you pronounce that food item, like a food that really helps my sensory overload and nobody knows why. I just recently learned how to pronounce it properly so I can go buy it in an English speaking store. It's called lychee. And when I used the German pronunciation, that was kind of misunderstandable to people who don't speak German. And I don't know what they were thinking when I asked for lychees. Um, so, yeah, I want lychees in my life, and I want my friends in my life. I want to exchange stories of experience concerning food, family, friends, how to arrange and organize free time and work. And now I already babbled too much, so here comes a brief run through what I usually don't want. A cure. I know there is stem cell research to help people with cerebral palsy, but many, including I, would actually experience it as a true handicap if the outer limbs suddenly started working the way they should. Because I and some people who I met are so used to doing everything slowly and reflectively. Uh, and I'm actually personally really pissed about such initiatives like to cure autism because that is a very long journey until, if at all, there is a remedy found, and B, people just should have a life quality and build that hand in hand with their friends and family. Oh, okay, here is something that I actually never want. Interpretation based on religious beliefs. Oh, yeah, you must be an angel, you must be so pious. I actually know very many disabled people, and especially autistic people, who say there is no God, there is only science. And of course, that's a matter of interpretation to the individual, but there you also have to find what works for you and respect what works for me. And also, I would wish that people would not ask me questions that I'm not qualified to answer. Like, I'm not a doctor and I'm not an Iceland immigration officer. I'm living on this planet Earth in my very own little bubble, and I can't give legal advice of any kind or financial advice of any kind to people. There, I would really ask people go to see someone who has studied that. With disabilities and chronic illnesses, okay, you can also go to people who have studied that, but also just ask people who have whatever you want to know, just their personal experience. Because if I learned one very important thing, the experience of one person you cannot invalidate because it's their experience. It doesn't have to be someone else's experience. See ya, and make this YouTube channel a pleasant experience for everybody. Bye.